So, ladies and gents, let's do some overtaking around Buckmore Park, of course. So, first we're going to look at turn one. Now, turn one, I've got the guy in front. I've got a massive run. Obviously, it's the old Buckmore sort of configuration, if you like, or layout before they spent lots of money. And that was probably easy pickings. This is probably a BUKC test. But what I want to say is that you're unlikely to, if you are driving behind someone who's very quick and doesn't make a mistake through here or through cafe, the chances of you catching them up down the main straight over the start finish line and making the move cleanly is very, very slim. So you've got to sort of almost hope for a mistake through here, which is quite rare with a top driver, because the braking zone is so late into turn one that it's very risky to overtake. This guy here, you know, a miles quicker on the straight, got some slipstream, and I know he's going to brake early. You can just tell by his race kit or whatever. And I'm fully alongside by the braking zone. But if you put your nose in or you're halfway alongside and someone turns in, you get a turn in Terry, they're going to bounce off. You're going to fire them off into the tyre wall on the outside. They're going to do some serious damage and hurt themselves. So be very careful when making that manoeuvre, because it is very, very tricky. So now we're going to do hairpin one, and you can usually set up people on the exit really of turn one because they can run wide here. These guys don't do that. In fact, I do 2 into 1, which is quite cool. So they brake very early, leave the door wide open, and I snatch position, which is a bit more easier than doing it at turn one. Let's be honest, turn one is, as I said, very, very, very risky, and we see lots of big accidents there, usually in the final, where people do a do or die, and the outside person usually dies, to be honest. But so I'm not quite sure if this was BUKC or not. I don't recognise any of the drivers in front. Obviously the TKM days, and the track's been revamped a little bit, so it's halfway through being revamped. But the guy in the blue, so you can follow people through like that as well, through turn one. That's not a problem. Hooking on the bumper of the car in front. This guy in front keeps a tight line at the second apex. Very good. Nothing wrong with that. And I thought he was going to make a move in the guy in the black, but he doesn't. He sort of holds behind him and then gets balked. And I just go, well, I'm going to have some of that, because the guy in the black really braked hard. And yeah, it was a clean move in the end. And I'm not running too wide, keeping on the circuit just about. So I think that was a pretty cool manoeuvre. And yeah, safe again, didn't lose time. Lovely jubbly. So then we're going to move on to my favourite overtaking manoeuvre, probably of all time. Willie Chew in front, BUKC Willie Chew, and Alpha timing, Alpha live, all the rest of it, Alpha, Alpha, Alpha. So flat out for a yellow flag, so 4 hours Clark, of course. Willie's doing the same thing. So round hairpin one, I catch him up on the brakes, but he gets a majorly good exit. But watch this, guys. Whop! Oh. I could watch that manoeuvre 100 times and not get bored. Even though it's me driving. I don't like watching myself too much, but watching that, even, you know, this was filmed 7-8 years ago from when this was recorded, and Willie still talks about this manoeuvre now. So I remember actually Willie had a very good go-kart and very quick out the corners. So I was struggling with bottom end, but I was determined not to pull in the pits and dump the car. I wanted to beat Willie. So as you can see, he's pulled away from Garda. And he's got, you know, 5 car lengths there, should we say. As I said, flat out under yellow flags, which is a big no-no. Willie's the same. Gets a bit of a slide on there, Willie. So he loses a bit of time. And my eyes are lighting up. I'm going, yeah, I'm catching him. But watch how much I catch him under brakes. But watch how much he pulls on the exit. So whatever I gain now, I lose. I'm literally almost kissing his bumper. But look at, he does like the point and squirt sort of technique. And look at him fire out that corner. And I'm thinking, bloody hell, I'm gonna go for it. That's what I'm thinking. Because he's doing the point and squirt. Look how late his turn is. He's really turned it on our sixpence. And bosh. And how clean that is as well. I parked it on the apex. He can't do nothing. He can't drive around the outside. So I completely blocked him off. He's had to stop the car pretty much. And yeah, again, that's probably one of my favourite manoeuvres of all time. I absolutely love that. Probably the easiest place on the calendar, on the Club 100 calendar, to overtake. Hairpin 2 at Buckmore Park. So then, this is, again, yellow flags, and I think I've got Willie behind me this time, because this is slightly later in the session, so I'm still driving very fast. I know where the guy spun off, and this is the chicane on the exit. Guy in front, he gets a little bit of a naff run through here, not the right line, and I sort of set him up and undercut him on the exit as we run down to Syme Sweep. Again, if you've got someone good in front, top driver, he's unlikely you're going to be able to do that. It's more so in the wet conditions, or when the driver in front's really had a problem, been slowed down by a back marker maybe. It is possible. I've overtaken Anwar going down the hill in the wet there, because you can do the switch back quite easily in the wet, because it's a lot more tougher of a corner. You have to really think about it and brake for the first left and balance the throttle on the right. So chicane is more difficult obviously in wet conditions, but in the dry it's not really a corner, it's flat chat. Obviously this chap in front is actually slowed down very sensibly for the yellow flag, fair play, especially if it's BUKC, which it is. So now he's looking behind, he's going, okay, yeah, I know what's behind me. Has another look before he turns into this corner. That straight away sort of makes me aware he's a bit nervous, so he kind of just goes a bit wide there, gets a bit unbalanced, and now I've got the slingshot set up. Beautifully done, making sure I'm on the inside before he turns in, so it'll be pod to pod if he does turn in. That's clean. Again, you don't want to stick your nose in there, because then that'll be really dodgy. So this one here is paddock, and this is also a tricky corner to overtake because the braking zone's so late. Such a lunge there. I made it, it was clean, just about got it done. Around Garda we go, but yeah, that corner's risky, because like I say, the brake and turn in is pretty much the same time, so you've got to be fully alongside before they turn in, otherwise they're going to turn in, you're going to fire them off again. So many ABCs are called down here for this type of thing, but I was just fully alongside. It'd be nice to have the camera on the other side of my crash helmet, to be fair, but yeah, it was clean, close, hard, aggressive, but again I didn't lose much time, so job done in the end. Up to Garda. And then Garda will be our next overtaking opportunity. And again, this is a good one because of the late apex. So I would say Garda's probably the second easiest overtaking opportunity on the track. Probably Hairpin 1 would be third. So I think we've got Matt Thomas in front, done a bit of BKC, easy kart, funny guy, really good chap. Not seen him for a while. But he gets a mistake out of paddock, hits that big outside curb, compromises his run up towards Garda, and that's given me the run that I needed to make the move. And also through cafe as well can be done. Again, if you're racing someone who's a bit inexperienced or makes a mistake on the exit of Garda on the left-hander. So we're behind Matt again through the chicane. So Matt's doing nothing wrong at the moment. Oh, looking pretty good. The old Buckmore. I'm about to slow up a little bit there because Matt's doing a bit of a weird line, a bit of a swish swash if you like. That line's okay, but now watch what happens now. He carries too much speed into paddock. Rear end brakes, look how much he's pulled away, but look, slide, slide, slide. He can't carry that speed, otherwise he'll hit those tyres on the left, and he's compromised his run out the hill. Revs have died. Sideways, loads of locks, stop the kart on the apex. He could maybe drive around the outside, and actually I'm surprised he didn't try that, because I do turn across now, so he's obviously not there. He's obviously backed off and I've just got the job done, but be careful because people do stick their nose in there. And here you go, up the inside of cafe again, another risky one. If you're not fully alongside, you can easily fire him off here, so be careful through cafe. But anyway guys, that is it. Thank you for watching the Buckmore Park overtaking section, do appreciate it. See you soon.